Hi guys, it's Debbie, and today I would like to speak about Imperium, a thriller film directed by Daniel Radcliffe and starring Daniel Radcliffe and Toni Collette. The film follows Nate Foster, a small and definitely not intimidating looking FBI agent portrayed by Daniel Radcliffe. After some radioactive material, cesium-137, is stolen, Agent Angela Zamparo, portrayed by Toni Collette, starts to suspect the involvement of white supremacist groups. Most of the other agents disagree with Zamparo's theory. Regardless of this, Zamparo insists and finally manages to recruit Agent Nate Foster as an undercover agent, which will have to infiltrate a white supremacist group and discover whether this cesium-137 is in the hands of its members, and in this case what their plans are. So Nate undergoes a complete physical transformation, shaving his head, starting to wear suitable clothing such as combat boots, leather jackets, and he also agrees to having his arm tattooed. He is also obviously forced to read literature regarding the white supremacist ideas, although the issues he reads about deeply disturb him. The title of the film derives from one of the books he is seen reading, Imperium. It actually is a real book written by Francis Parker Yockey, which was a strong influence for many white extreme right movements, as he was a strong supporter of anti-Semitism, fascism and Nazism. So it is understandable why Nate was so disturbed when reading these books, as we can imagine their outrageous content. Nate successfully infiltrates the group and also starts to meet members of other groups. His encounters show us how many different and contrasting ideas there are between the different groups, mostly concerning how the different groups want to pursue their goals. We are also introduced to a series of characters which show us just how frightening and dangerously important the issue of the existence of these groups is, because most of the members of these groups are easily recognizable, with huge offensive tattoos, studs, shaven heads, a violent attitude and so on. But others instead look like members of the perfect family which has just stepped out of a TV commercial. The father with the crisp blue shirt, the mother cooking a barbecue for friends, and the kids playing in a huge beautiful treehouse built with love by their father. The problem is the children have been told that this treehouse has the purpose of saving them from undesirable minorities, and the barbecue guests are neo-Nazis speaking about how to kill non-white people over a cool drink and an organic burger. And this is why Imperium is such an exceptional film, because it doesn't aim at frightening us with scenes of gruesome violence, racial murders and so on. On the contrary, it shows us the cold, mechanical, political programming that is behind the final killing. It shows us how racial hate is not just beating an interracial couple in a parking lot. It's about huge amounts of radioactive material. It's precise planning, no false steps, extensive background checks on people who want to become members of these groups, a slow infiltration of all aspects of society, beginning from the media, the biggest, strongest and most dangerous form of communication. And Daniel Radcliffe beautifully portrays a person which is scared out of his wits of just being in the room with a couple of members of one of these groups, but which also has to understand how these people are reasoning, what the logic behind their thoughts is, and he also has to work out what they would reply to certain questions. He has to somehow try and think like they would and give a quick and logic reply, and obviously he is forced to take part in all the public parades and rallies. He has to prove he won't stop when asked to commit acts of violence. So the real fear in Imperium, the real disturbing fact, is that just some of these members are spontaneous, and their impulsiveness usually gets them locked up pretty quickly. The real enemy are the other members, the silent web slowly being woven behind our backs. And it is woven by the kind father picking up his kids at preschool, the mother kindly preparing an apple pie for the school bake. It's woven by that funny bloke you met at the pub. It's woven by a teenager suffering from peer pressure. It's woven absolutely everywhere, and Nate has to discover what the real plan is. The film is chillingly accurate and perfectly describes a time in which these rings feed on fear and misunderstandings. Let me know if you saw Imperium with a comment here below, and I'll see you soon in a new video. Bye!